nobody should have been in that room. The old ranch house had stood silent for years, a place Thomas Evers never dared open since the night his wife passed. But when the storm rolled down from the plains, rattling shutters and clawing at the walls, he checked the forgotten back bedroom. He pulled at the curtain and froze. A voice, ragged and trembling, broke the silence. "Hold me tight, please." Out of the shadows, a pale hand reached through, streaked with dirt and blood. Thomas staggered back, breath caught in his throat. What was a dying girl doing here in the bed where his wife once lay? If this story already has your heart racing, you'll want to stick around, because it only gets more intense from here. If you enjoy these kinds of Wild West tales filled with grit, mystery, and a touch of redemption, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who loves a good frontier story. The wind that night was like a living thing, howling across the prairie, rattling the shutters of Thomas Evers' ranch house. He'd seen his share of storms, but this one felt different, angrier, like it was trying to peel the walls away piece by piece. Lantern in hand, he moved through the creaking halls, checking for leaks, for cracks, for anything the storm might break. When he reached the back bedroom, his chest tightened. He hadn't set foot in there since his wife's death years ago. Dust lay thick across the floorboards, curtains stiff and yellowed with time. Still, the storm pushed him forward, urging him to check. The swollen door groaned as he forced it open. He stepped inside, raised the lantern, and then froze. From the corner of the room, behind the curtain, came a sound that did not belong to the storm. A whisper, hoarse as if dragged over broken glass. "Hold me tight, please." The lantern shook in his hand. He thought for a moment his grief had finally broken him. But then the curtain shifted. A pale arm reached out, streaked with dirt and blood, trembling. Thomas staggered back, heart pounding. Thomas's first instinct was to walk away, saddle his horse, let the storm swallow whatever nightmare had crawled into his home. But as the girl's arm twitched again, fingers curling as if begging for his hand, something inside him cracked. He'd buried enough strangers on this land to recognize when a body was on the edge. Her breath rattled like barbed wire in her chest. Fever burned in her eyes. She was maybe 15, her dress torn, bruises blooming across her skin like cruel signatures left behind. Whoever had done this wasn't far. The law said he should ride for the sheriff. But Thomas knew what folks in town already whispered: the widower who drank alone, who kept too many ghosts. If they found a half-dead girl in his wife's old bed, no words could clear his name. He pressed his palm against the doorframe, whispering, "Not my fight." The words rang hollow, even to him. And then she spoke again, barely more than breath. "Please, don't leave me." The sound dragged him back through time, to his boy coughing blood into a rag, to his wife's last whisper. Memories that never stopped bleeding. Thomas clenched his jaw. He couldn't walk away. Thomas poured water into a tin cup and held it to the girl's lips. She drank like she hadn't tasted life in days, then sagged back against the bed, whispering a single word. Hunters. Not trappers. Not men chasing game. The way she said it made his stomach knot. These were men who hunted people. A horse snorted outside. Too close. Thomas snuffed the lantern in an instant, plunging the room into shadow. Through a slit in the curtain he saw torchlight bobbing on the ridge, weaving through sheets of rain. Riders, 2, maybe more, closing in. The girl stirred weakly. "Don't let them take me." Her hand clutched his sleeve, trembling. Boots crunched over wet gravel. Saddles creaked. Rifles knocked against stirrups. These weren't neighbors caught in the storm. These men knew exactly where they were going. Then came the call, steady and low, meant to carry through the rain. "Evenin', rancher. Might be you've seen someone blowin' through these parts. A girl. Dark hair. Wears trouble like a second skin." Thomas didn't answer. The girl shook her head violently, eyes wide with terror. Outside, the storm roared, but the danger pressing against his walls was louder still. The riders grew impatient. One spat in the mud. Another voice barked, sharper now. "Don't play dumb, old man. We tracked her prints through your north pasture. Hand her over and we're gone. Refuse, and maybe we see what else you're hiding in there." The girl's grip tightened on Thomas's hand, her whisper barely audible. "They'll kill me." His chest ached. He thought of his neighbors already suspicious of him, thought of how quickly rumors spread in town. If they found her here, no explanation would matter. The door shuddered under a heavy knock. "Last chance, rancher." Her trembling fingers slipped something into his palm, a small silver locket. Inside, a faded sketch of a family. Hers. Gone. Thomas's jaw hardened. "If they want you," he muttered, raising his shotgun, "they'll have to step over me." The door burst inward. Rain and torchlight poured inside. Two hunters, rifles raised, stepped over the threshold. "Step aside," the taller one snarled, scarred face gleaming. Thomas leveled the shotgun. His voice came steady, iron low. "She stays." The hunter smirked, lifting his rifle. "Then you'll join her." Thunder cracked, not from the storm, but from Thomas's gun. The blast lit the room in white. The scarred hunter dropped where he stood. The second fired wildly, bullets tearing through wood and glass. Thomas ducked low, chambered another shell, and fired again. The hunter slammed against the doorway, rifle clattering uselessly to the floor. For a heartbeat, the only sound was the storm screaming through shattered windows. Thomas's chest heaved, smoke curling from the shotgun. Slowly, he turned back. The girl was still there, clutching the locket to her chest, eyes wide, not with fear, with trust. He knelt beside her, resting a calloused hand gently on her shoulder. "You're safe," he whispered. And though safety on the frontier was fragile as glass, for that moment, it was true. Days later, when Thomas rode into town with the girl bundled beside him, folks whispered. Some suspicious, others quietly respectful. He didn't answer questions. He didn't need to. For the first time in years, he felt a weight lift, a spark of purpose reborn in the ashes of violence. Redemption, he realized, doesn't always come with prayer. Sometimes it arrives when a stranger takes your hand and whispers, "Hold me tight." Out on the frontier, survival often meant shutting your doors and minding your own battles. But Thomas Evers proved something else, that even the most broken heart can find new purpose when it chooses compassion over fear. If this story left you thinking about the power of choices, the cost of silence, and the fragile mercy we sometimes give each other, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this with someone who loves a tale of grit and redemption. Because sometimes, the smallest choice can change everything.